Hey, Maniacs.
Hey, Midsomer Maniacs.
This is Midsomer Maniacs.
Oh, yeah, baby.
A weekly comedy recap podcast of the ITV series Midsomer Murders. Each week, we cover an episode of the show, including the murder, the mayhem, the loonies, and everything else we love, including you. I'm Sarah.
Week, I'm Mark.
And this week, we get to cover season 23, episode 1
of Midsomer Murders.
Yeah, baby. Back to the good stuff. Not that everything else isn't good, but you know, this is our baby.
Yep, episode 150 or 133 of the show.
Okay, so it's our 150th episode?
Yes.
Okay, because we've done other topics.
Yes.
Gotcha. I was a little confused there.
We've done 17 other topics.
Yes. So before we go anywhere, this is a spoiler podcast. If you have not seen season 23, episode 1 yet, stop right now.
Right now.
If it's available to you, we're going to talk about that. Ooh, there's some stuff going on there.
Ooh,
if it's available to you, then go listen to our mini episode that is spoiler free first. Watch the episode, then come back because we're about to ruin it for you if you haven't seen it.
Yes.
Speaking of people who haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh. The people in Britain, there's going to be a revolution.
Season 22, episode
5 and 6. We're supposed to be on ITV starting this week.
Yeah.
Sunday at 8 p.m.
They were supposed to air.
But no.
Wait a minute. How can they not show them? What's going on instead?
Well,
I mean, it's not like the Queen died.
I'm actually happy the Queen died because she would have wanted to see Midsomer.
She would be upset because what's taken her place?
She has been preempted by Harry.
No, she hasn't.
Sorry. Midsomer has been preempted.
By her grandson.
By her grandson talking about fistfights with his brother.
Wow.
Over Meghan Markle. Oh my God.
Wow. I think that UK viewers deserve to be really mad.
See, so this happened. I posted.
They've been waiting how long?
Today is Sunday, okay, the 7th of January. And I posted a little note that said, hey, UK listeners, you should listen to our mini on the episode that you're going to see on Sunday before the episode because it'll show you how to watch like Maniac. And you can know what we understand is
Isn't
the
that
true
fun?
Understanding of Midsomer Kurgan.
Yeah.
Okay. You will understand what we mean by Midsomer Kurgan.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're dealing with both. Our major audiences are the UK and
the US.
The US. Those are our two major. So we're going to have like all these people interested in the podcast and all this community because we got different episodes airing on different days in different places.
And then slam on the brakes.
Wow. Record scratch because
ITV decided to air Harry's interview instead of Midsomer.
I went to the ITV website. I double checked on the schedule because a person on Twitter said, you need to look at the schedule on ITV. I was like, wow.
What?
And wow, that was crazy that they did that.
Have they posted when they're going to air it instead?
No.
Oh my gosh, that's even worse.
So those people,
at least tell us when you're going to bump it to.
Yep, those people who are expecting to see Midsomer, who like we're gonna get to. We have
they're the
so
home
much
audience.
to talk to. They're the home audience, and they should get it first.
They should get it first. Never mind. Yeah,
they are not getting it again because
sorry.
of Harry.
We should just give them all our Acorn login and a VPN.
New Midsomer Maniac sponsor, NordVPN.
Yes. Like, if it would put a thumb in the eye of ITV for doing that to show them our disapproval, then yeah, I'd be supportive of that. But it would only hurt Acorn for everybody to be all cheaty and watching it.
This has been a crazy week from start to finish with Midsomer. Because we put out a mini on Monday about episode 4 of season 23. The, what is it called? It's called Dress to Kill.
Yeah.
Right? And there are people in that episode who are people of color, who have alternative sexuality and dress in other genders' clothing.
Yeah.
And I probably think it's the first reference to cisgender in Midsomer. Well, the Facebook groups went nutsy bobo. My gosh.
There was somebody on IMDb too going, this is too woke and Floor is really mean.
Yep.
I'm like, Floor's not mean.
There were comments on both of our releases for that episode on Facebook that were deleted by admins.
Wow.
Because
by the Midsomer admins.
I don't delete any comments.
Not us.
No.
Because they were so nasty?
Yeah, and that has way more comments than anything else. It was like somebody was waiting for somebody to come along and start talking about the episode, and everybody piled on. I was like, I just have a little podcast. It's a mini.
Wait, we're just having fun.
You should listen to mini. It's funny.
Wasn't trying to start anything.
And then on Reddit, on the subreddit, somebody's like, we should really have a spoiler policy.
No, that was a good idea. And that was totally legitimate.
That was totally legitimate.
And so
everybody was great about it. And so I implemented a spoiler policy on the subreddit.
So there's a tag there now. So you can still post about things.
Yep.
But you just have to put the tag on it.
A big red flare tag.
So that if somebody doesn't want to ruin it for themselves, they won't read that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's all good. And on top of it all of that, on top of it, we kind of hit a bunch of milestones all at the same time. This is episode 150. We had 250,000 total downloads.
That's awesome.
That's 250,000 downloads.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's 250,000 times an hour.
Yeah.
People have listened to us.
Times an hour of people listening to us.
I'm sorry.
We hit 3,000 people on the subreddit, which is where we are.
The subreddit for Midsomer Murders. It's not for the podcast.
Yeah,
that's great.
Not for the
yeah.
It's way ahead of like the Poirot subreddit and not the Agatha Christie one.
Obviously, yeah.
And like it's just nuts.
It's great.
Stuff has been crazy.
Yeah.
So thanks for the update on that, Harry.
Harry ruins everything. On to good things.
Pies.
It's the pie report.
Yes, the pie report.
After we did the Brokenwood episode, people have asked us about our pies. Mark went on the search on the intertubes and found some authentic Kiwi pies.
Kiwi cuisine pies.
Yes, and ordered them for us. And I think we ate some of them when we had no water. But we did have electricity.
Never mind the horrible Christmas break that we had. We haven't even gotten into that. Everything's okay now.
We talked about it on the minis, but so we received a shipment of pies.
Yes, and they were delicious.
We ordered steak and cheese, the king of pies.
Yes,
according to Brokenwood.
Yep.
Mince and cheese and butter chicken.
Yep.
All three were excellent.
They were
I
excellent.
highly recommend Kiwi cuisine.
Yep.
They didn't give us a break on them or anything like that.
Nope.
It's not a sponsored thing. I'm just saying they were super good.
They
so if you're curious, you should get them.
High quality.
Yeah, really good.
High quality. They cooked well. Mm-hmm. It takes a little while to cook them.
Well, they're frozen.
They're frozen.
Yeah.
Takes a little while. But they weren't soggy or anything.
No.
The crust was really
good.
No
soggy bottoms.
No soggy bottoms. And the fillings were delicious.
I have to say, it may be apocryphal, but I like the butter chicken one the best.
It was super good.
Super good.
Yeah.
But all three were great.
They were absolutely great pies. And if we ever actually make it to Alexandria, Virginia, we're going there for pie.
Yeah. Speaking of kiwis, we have a correction to make.
Yes.
Ginger Petal on Facebook was
on Instagram.
Sorry, on Instagram who is a Kiwi from New Zealand.
From New Zealand.
Was kind enough to let us know that the information I had about how kiwis were named, the birds and the fruit were named, was incorrect.
Yes.
And that kiwi is actually the Maori word for the bird, and that is first.
Yes.
So it's not that the birds were named after the fruit. It's the fruit was named after the bird.
Yes.
And Ginger Petal knows. And thank you so much for letting us know.
And once again, if we make a mistake like that, please.
Oh my gosh.
Tell us.
Yeah. I want to learn.
That's one of the things about community that I like is when people are like, actually, you're not correct there.
I have no problem admitting I was wrong about something.
Don't mind. don't mind saying we were wrong at all.
Are you ready to talk about Blacktrees prophecy?
Yes, the original air date for Blacktrees Prophecy was the 12th of December, 2022. Didn't we just do a mini on this?
Well, that was the air date on Acorn.
Yes.
It has not aired on broadcast TV yet, right?
Yes, and we did do a mini on this. And when we get to the things we asked you to watch for in the mini, the watch like the Maniac things, we're going to point them out in the episode as we go along.
Yes. On the garometer.
Turn on the garometer.
I would put this at stairs and a half.
Yeah, this is kind of stairs and a half.
There's some planning that goes on with these murders. There's some effort to take in that it requires some forethought and a hazmat suit.
And then canned ham. Wow.
That was a weapon of opportunity.
Yep.
I would think, unless, I don't know, maybe the pub doesn't serve canned ham of any kind and she brought it with her. Why is somebody walking along the street in an orange hazmat suit with a gas mask carrying a canned ham?
Oh, we have several questions for this episode.
Yeah, this is an episode all about doomsday preppers.
Yes.
This is about centers on Warren Kane and his wife. Warren was the village GP until he retired, and now he's focused on the end of the world.
I literally have a problem with the first second of this episode.
How so?
Because it starts with Blacktrees Farm. There's a caption that says Blacktrees Farm. And it says 0:59 a.m. 0:59 a.m. The a.m. is not needed.
Is unnecessary.
It's unnecessary. Yeah. That is pandering to the U.S. audience.
There is no AM, PM in military time.
Yeah. Why are there so many hats in this house?
Why is there so much weird things in this house?
Oh, this house is full of strange things.
There's just weird stuff everywhere. And it's the typical country aristocrat house.
Except for instead of real books, there's
fake book wallpaper.
Yes, which is
everywhere.
One of the things that we talked about on the mini, which is the stupidest wallpaper. Watch like a maniac.
And it's up a stairway, like at an angle, like where it couldn't even be a real bookshelf.
It's in a couple of places, which is weird.
It's not fooling anybody.
Yeah, it's not fooling anyone. And like, what are you supposed to say? Oh, that person must be smart because they have book wallpaper. Like, what? What does that say about you other than that you're stupid?
That you're pretentious?
I guess.
There's also the dachshund chairs that you noticed.
Yes.
In the living room.
The dachshund chairs in the living room.
Well, now, let's be straight about it. One chair has the dachshund's butt, and the other one has the dachshund's head.
They are in the right order.
Yes. They're not front to back. But you know, you have to like pan across the backs of both chairs to see the full dog.
Okay.
I'm guessing you have to buy them in pairs.
You have to buy... like...
We damaged the head one. We just need to replace that one.
I easily spend 20 minutes trying to figure out these chairs because you sit down on the chair and your back would cover the dachshund.
Yeah.
Why would you have the dachshund there and not on the back of the chair then?
Because then you wouldn't see it. I just want to go to the store where they bought them and say, yes, we need 8 chairs. We want all butts. Just the butts.
Or does it wrap around and it's the same on the back? And
the opposite is on the back. Like on the butt chair, the head is on the back.
They're literally
like it's a wraparound dachshund?
They're like literally bookend chairs.
They're very weird.
They're very strange. And then on the couch, did you see what was on the couch? The weirdest cat pillow ever.
Oh, yeah.
It has a cat, a giant tiger face, I think, with, a wolf face on top of it.
It's the whole... I'm not even going to talk about the set dressers. I'm just going to assume these are the decisions of the characters, right? That they actually furnish their own home.
Yes.
The whole place is... I have money. I buy things. I put them in my house.
Yeah. The set dressing
I don't make choices.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah. It's very well done. I don't make choices about aesthetics. I make choices about accumulation.
Yes.
The weirdest thing I found in the house is in the kitchen. And I've got a picture of it in the folder there so you can put it in the notes.
Okay.
How do you say her name? Claudia?
Claudia?
The wife,
yes,
is in the kitchen. I think it's called champagne. I think I named the file. You got it?
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
On the wall, there is some kind of decorative thing that is 4 upside down bottles of champagne.
There's actually 5. 5 upside down bottles of champagne.
They're not stored there.
No.
This is not a rack for storing champagne.
No.
It is decorative. They are 4 bottles screwed to the wall.
Why would you do that?
I don't understand. I mean, it wouldn't even make like a good towel rack or anything.
No.
I don't get it.
It's ugly. They'll be in the show notes.
It just fills space. I don't get it. Anyhow, gosh,
Never mind the fact that they have a mirror on the top of their
I was gonna
poster
say,
bed.
I should have taken it back. The most offensive thing to me is that they're fine, like Victorian era at least, if not earlier. 4-poster bed has mirrors on the ceiling, which is just
Which leads to this weird shot of it shows him coming into the room and then
to wake her, and it pans from the mirror image of him to her.
It's directed by Robert Bangura. I think this is the first Midsomer he's directed, but he's been super vocal and cool on Instagram about what he
These
does.
are not complaints about him. It's not poorly filmed.
No.
These 2 people just have no taste. Their house is horrible.
Okay, folks, we're still literally
the first 30 seconds
into this episode.
We should move forward.
Okay, let's get to the shelter.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So
You mean the booze box, the booze pit, the party pit.
The party pit. That's what we're calling it from now on.
Because these people are not really prepping for the apocalypse as much as they're prepping for a convenient excuse to have a lock-in party.
Yeah, sort of lock-in because, okay, there's World War III happened. Mm-hmm. Okay? I know about this bunker, but I'm not there to get in. Mm-hmm. I find a keypad at the door. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's my life to get in through this door. Mm-hmm. I'm going to probably try 7890 pretty soon in the locking.
Yeah.
Going through, like, I'm going to try 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Then
2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. I'm going to try
6.
all those 4-digit consecutive numbers.
Yeah.
Right
and you're going to be in about 30 seconds.
I'm going to be in about 30 seconds. And then you don't have a different code for the next door.
Yeah. I understand having like creature comforts in there, like couches and things to do. You know, you need to be entertained if you're gonna survive and not go crazy.
Everybody needs a drinks cart.
I get it, but a drinks cart is kind of like what? And yeah, we come prepared with a bottle of booze for each of us.
Yes.
Never mind the hundreds of bottles of wine in the space taking up racks.
The Studwick whiskey, which is not a real company.
It's a fake.
Now, we noticed something on that bottle, and I have a theory about that.
The W?
Yes.
Okay. It's for Warren. It's his bottle.
Oh, that's a better theory than mine.
What did you concoct?
My theory was, so those bottles are not filled with actual booze.
Uh-huh. So you think the W is for water?
I think the W is for contains whiskey that is water.
Oh, it's
whiskey colored water.
There's a bottle there with each of their initials, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what I was talking about. There's symbols on the walls. Did you notice those?
Watch like a maniac. Yes, so there's an arrow that goes to the right and a circle with a cross on it in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. And then beside the door, there's another circle with a cross in it and what looks like a bridge symbol. And
yes.
And then the number 5.
Thank you for saying that was a bridge symbol because, did I go down rabbit holes of all kinds of like UK military symbols, survivalist symbology, hobo symbols. I mean, you name it. That is either a bridge or somebody with a dog lives here if you're a hobo. And I'm only calling them hobos because that's what the experts call those symbol sets.
Yep.
The circle with the plus sign in it, the only thing I can find that means is Earth.
Okay.
And the double arrow, I cannot find anywhere.
Okay.
And I really looked.
I can imagine.
Including a site where you did a text description of the symbol and it claimed to be able to look it up.
Wow.
So if somebody listening knows what those mean and why they might be there, I thought they probably belong to like a set of symbols that are like supposed to be universally understood.
Yeah.
So maybe that bridge is actually a door.
Maybe.
But I don't know.
I knew you would look into the symbols, so I got caught up in another thing in the bunker at this point in time.
Yeah.
Did you notice that both in his house and in the bunker, there is an inordinate amount of animal skin products?
Yeah, he likes animal stuff.
Wow, does he like
including
animal stuff?
dachshund butts on chairs.
And
we can't really talk about Warren, by the way. We're talking about his shelter in his house because he really isn't even in the episode.
No. And
he freaks out. He rouses everybody. He's obviously overreacting to a message that comes over the radio from somebody he doesn't even know, from a source he doesn't even know. Yep. And he's just like, finally, an excuse for my party pit. Let's go. Gloomsday preppers, unite. I call it Gloomsday because they're like glampers, you know?
Gloomsday preppers might be the name of the episode.
Glamour Doomsday because we're going to have wine.
Well, those amphetamines hit him awfully hard because he can't do the code and someone in a hazmat suit has locked the door.
I don't know why he doesn't say, who is this?
Yeah.
That's the first thing you say, not like, that's all the proof I need. Let's go.
No.
Because he just wants the excuse.
Yeah. Totally.
To be in the party pit with a couple of pretty ladies who can repopulate the earth with.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not sorry we don't get to know him. He's not likable from what we learned.
At the end, we need to talk about the whole repopulating the earth thing because it is problematic that all the men in this episode have. The men in this episode are not nice people.
Let's talk about other things that aren't nice. Let's go to the Barnaby's house.
Oh my God, I have in all capital letters, it is so filthy. Watch like a maniac.
Not the house.
Not the house. Something in the house that we talked about in the mini.
The towel.
So the Barnabys at the end of their kitchen island.
And there seems to be a purposeful camera shot of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you've ever been in a very old gas station, convenience store, auto, I remember these from auto repair places.
We had them at my school when I was a kid.
They used to have these towel dispensers that instead of having paper towels that came out, they were called the endless roll.
Yes.
And it was a spool of fabric that you pulled down to dry your hands on, and the next person would pull it again and have a dry.
And then when it was all dirty, it went away.
It went away. And
it did not loop back.
No, they're not supposed to do that.
No.
Blech. And they're like, I don't know, like 100 feet of fabric.
Yeah.
What the Barnabys have is called a roll towel.
Yep.
Roller towel, sorry. Now, it is a towel that is probably 6 feet long.
Yep.
And is sewn into a loop.
Yes.
And put over a bar.
Yep.
So that you can do the same thing with it. You can grab it, dry your hands, move it, grab it, dry your hands.
My first thought when I saw that was we could never have one of those because
Olive would hang on it. She would hang on it, right? And the idea is that the bar is kind of like a toilet paper dispenser bar. You can take it off and easily throw that in the wash. Now, these are very popular in the UK.
Okay.
Because they're green.
Okay.
And I get it.
I do.
I don't disagree with that.
No.
The problem I have is not that they're green.
No.
Is that they're not supposed to be this kind of green.
It's filthy.
It's yucky green. It's got glops of stuff on it.
It's just gross.
It's gross. Oh, we're overreacting. Anyway, Sarah's freaking out about her mom coming to visit.
Okay, I have another theory. And
how horrendous is her mom if the friend that she has later in this season can come over and she's not freaking out about her coming, but her mom causes her to freak out?
Yeah.
Because if her friend from that other episode was coming, I would be freaked out.
Yes.
So her mom must be Godzilla.
So there's a lot of comments about both Betty and Sarah in these episodes being not really part of the episode.
Which is fine. They don't have to, they're not the main characters.
These are filmed during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And Fiona Dolman has a small child at home.
Yeah.
They completely locked down her and Betty's set.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why she is not in as much of these episodes, because especially this first one, it's clear she's in one place and one place only.
Yeah, and I got no problem with that.
I have no problem with that.
It's totally fine.
Yeah, and her mother must be the most evil creature on
She's Godzilla. Momzilla. In another scene, she seemingly has spent like $1,000 on flowers to put everywhere all over the house. Like, how scary is she? If she's that scary, put your foot down and say, you're not coming to visit me. You can stay in the hotel. You cannot stay with us.
Yep.
If she's that bad.
Well, it makes you scrub under the sink with your tie on. We'll get there. What are you doing housework with a tie on?
You don't do any work with your work clothes on. Not if your work clothes require dry cleaning. You change clothes as soon as you get home, like Mr. Rogers, just like I do.
Yes.
Gosh, we really need to move forward with this episode. We're like on the second scene. Anyway, people are screaming in their earphones right now. So we've got, Warren has the party pit.
Yes, and he is the GP,
which is the former GP.
An incredibly important part of the episode.
Yeah.
That they kind of be like, oh, he's just the GP. I'm like, if he's not the GP, this is not the same episode.
Right, then there's lots of problems with everything else. Then there's Etta, who lives in a caravan, and mini episode alert.
Watch like a maniac.
Apparently, her only point of personality is that she thinks the world's going to end and she has piercings.
She's millennial, piercings, world's end, sex addict.
That's what she is. That's who she is. She's a little flat.
Why? Well, we'll get there. Why?
Near as I can tell, she's got 11 earrings in her head, which is, I don't care. If she had 40, that's fine. I mean,
but she has a nose piercing, which may be the first one on Midsomer.
I have like 6.
Yeah.
No, she maybe has the first septum piercing.
Yes.
Because a lot of people have little nose studs on the side.
Right.
But she's got the ring in the middle.
She is the ring in the middle.
But the whole reason I even asked to watch her like a maniac is that I think at one point one of her piercings disappears.
I think so too.
Off of one ear. I think she loses an earring because I don't think the actress actually has that many.
Yeah. So we have a problem with this murder, which is it's not explained all that well.
Well, it's just not. I don't think it would work the way they say that it will. But I'm willing to suspend disbelief. I don't care. Somebody sucked all the air out of there. They drugged him. Then they sucked all the air out and he suffocated. That's cool.
Meanwhile, the important thing about
Warren died in his own party pit.
Is that Fleur's been on rock star buses. What rock stars do you think?
Are you surprised?
No, not at all. But what rock stars do you think Fleur's bus has been on the bus of?
Oh, definitely like the Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, for
Pink
sure.
Floyd.
That band that we always make fun of, that everybody in the UK always says that we shouldn't make fun of.
That we can't even remember the name of.
The Who? I'd add The Who on here.
But one of the lead singers made a really bad movie later as a tax write-off. That band that you're talking about? Okay.
I also think she could probably be a best friend to Rod Stewart. No problem at all.
Oh, no problem at all.
No problem. So we got, and Jeff Beck, she could hang out with him pretty well.
Jethro Tull.
Yeah,
do you think Fleur's played the flute?
Oh. Has Fleur played Jethro Tull's flute? Wow.
But
wow.
Innuendo alert.
Yep.
So then the other main characters that we've got. So we've got Claudia, who's
according to IMDb, her name
is Claudia.
Yes, is Claudia.
Okay.
Clodagh.
I know. So we're just going to call her Claudia.
Claudia.
That's how I'm going to say it. I think that's how they say it.
Well, the
in
actress
show.
has an interesting name too.
Oh, her name is Sanita Henry.
Yeah.
Do you recognize her? She's hot off another set when she makes this episode.
I don't know what I recognize her
The Chelsea detective.
Oh, right. She's the Chelsea detective.
Yes. But she had a stranger role way back when.
She did.
That you would never guess. Because it may be her first movie role.
But this is not a bad movie?
No.
Okay.
Because she was in The Fifth Element.
What?
Yes.
Okay. Let me try to guess where she is.
You won't recognize her. She's really young.
Okay. In The Fifth Element, she is one of the kids in the pyramid at the beginning.
Nope.
Okay.
She's the president's assistant.
Oh, now I have to watch Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Just to see.
She basically stands next to him or behind him with a little microphone on with the presidential uniform.
And she says a couple lines.
Yep. She does. But that's her.
That's the president of the galaxy. If you haven't watched Fifth Element, you should.
Oh my gosh. Go see it. Yeah. Go watch it. And Stu, who is the other prepper.
Yes. Who is also a poacher. He's a poacher prepper.
Yeah. So Etta, Stu, Warren, and not Guy, who is supposed to be in the and Claudia are supposed to be in. Those are the 4 who are supposed to survive the apocalypse.
2 couples surviving the apocalypse.
Yes.
Impregnating each other.
Apparently.
Apparently.
Yeah. Now Guy thinks he's one of them, but he's not.
No.
And then his wife, who owns the bookstore, Paige.
Yes.
So then there's Guy and Paige.
Yep.
He thinks that he's going to be in there, but he's not. And Paige, his wife, played by Holly Aird, who was also in the Oblong Murders.
Yes.
She's been in Midsomer
and they have
before.
2 children.
And they have 2 kids.
Zane and Becky.
Right.
Oh my God, Becky, did you see the size of his hazmat suit?
You have to do that joke anytime you hear the name Becky, don't you?
You do.
Claudia is not missing Warren.
No. It's
She's like-
clear right off the very beginning.
Even if she wasn't having an affair with Guy, I don't think she would be missing Warren.
Most people think I'm his daughter. Like, that's the first thing she says to the cop.
Yeah, and then runs off to her friend and goes, "Never mind, honey. I'm just going to give you, some of the insurance money, and we're going to keep this bookstore open." And isn't that
By the way,
convenient?
I'm sleeping with your husband.
Yeah,
who's using me to get the code, which is 7890.
So that he can get in the party pit
Yes.
to survive the end of the world, I guess. Why does Guy even want to be in there?
My biggest note in this section is Ukrainian dog chairs. Because the Daxon chairs are yellow and blue. Also, why are they yellow and blue?
Well, lots of things are yellow and blue, other than the Ukrainian flag,
guess.
though it is the most important yellow and blue thing right now. Yeah. So Paige's shop is being repossessed.
Yes.
Because I guess a used bookstore doesn't do enough business in this tiny village to stay afloat.
We go on about this in all of our episodes, but I'm just going to bring in the hits here. No one works in this goddamn village.
One person could run that bookstore.
No one works in this goddamn village. No one goes to stores. No one goes to the pub. No one does anything.
There are some people in the restaurant sometimes.
There are 2 people in this village who reoccur. Did you notice the people that reoccur?
They do have 2 background artists.
Yes.
Who are frequent
walk
in the
a
episode.
dog.
They walk the dog when a dog walk is needed.
Yes. But other than that, there's no one in this episode. I have never seen a more empty pub than this pub.
Well, but there's one important visitor to the pub.
Okay.
And that is a whole deer.
Okay. Also in my notes, health and safety will have a problem with this. You don't dress a deer in a restaurant.
You don't dress a deer inside. You hang it from a tree. You bring meat to the restaurant, not a deer. He carries it through the front door.
You don't bring undressed meat to a pub.
Who owns this restaurant?
So this restaurant is owned by 2 people. It is owned by the Salts, okay?
Oh, you think so?
Medora Salt and Randall Salt.
You think they own it?
Yes.
I think they work for Stu.
You think Stu owns this?
Yeah.
Why is he poaching if he has $1.5 million house? Did you see his house?
I know.
We don't see inside his house.
No.
But he has a...
He's a forecourt. Okay. We don't have a forecourt.
We don't have a forecourt. Like, we live in a really nice area in Bloomington. 3 doors down is a former U.S. senator.
Yeah.
Okay? We live in a very nice neighborhood. We don't have a forecourt.
No. His house is, maybe that's why he has to poach, because he's in debt over his forecourt house and his big restaurant.
Did you notice it has 2 wings? His house has 2. Stu, let your girlfriend park in your forecourt.
Is that a euphemism for something?
Because Anna is supposedly his girlfriend, and yet she has to park in an alley, and he's in $1.5 million house.
Well, I don't think she'd want to park in his forecourt, because Etta can't be beholden to the man.
She can't have all the doors open in her van if it's in the forecourt.
He's got a gate.
Why does she have all the doors open in the van?
Airing it out? It would probably need it. Okay. So Warren doesn't have all the money. He canceled his life insurance. Yep. So now Claudia is like, well, I guess I don't have all the money.
Oh, wait. We forgot the most important thing about the pub.
Yeah?
The pub tells us what season it is.
Oh, it's Easter.
Even though none of the outside shots are in this.
There's some daffodils, I think.
I think so, because there's signs for an Easter dinner and a Mother's Day dinner.
Yeah.
But that we don't get to see what's on them.
I'm really glad neither of us has an ex who lives in a tent in our yard.
Yeah.
Because, wow. I mean, Warren apparently was a grumpy jerk.
Yeah.
But having his his disenfranchised ex-wife
Well,
living
it's-
in the backyard could not have helped.
It's driven her insane.
Yeah.
Because in the end of the episode, she just goes to the house and says, I live here now.
Yeah. Move over, current wife. I live here now.
It's not even current wife. Claudia is a widow and
Yes.
she owns everything.
Yes. Move over, widow. I'm moving in.
In the world's fastest will reading, which is on the phone, on the car ride, on the way over to the bookstore. I'm not making that up. That's what Winter says.
Mm-hmm.
The will says that she gets the house and the bomb shelter.
Well, that's good. She gets the party pit.
And her boyfriend's like, oh, buy the bomb shelter. I have some secret money. Dude, if I have a secret boyfriend and they say, oh, by the way, I have secret money, I'm like, why are you not telling me about secret money beforehand?
Yeah. And, why doesn't your wife know about your secret money,
Yes.
by the way? So not only does his ex-wife live in the woods,
Yes.
which we understand she has to because she doesn't have any money or anything. Like I guess she really got screwed in the divorce, and she's also lost her job. Okay.
Yes.
So she's a little unstable, maybe.
Yep.
She likes her crossbow a little bit too much.
And her bear traps.
But she also seems to have kind of a legitimate grievance too. Like,
Oh, totally.
He really did mistreat her.
Yes.
And then she lost her job
Yes.
as the head of security at this pharma company.
Wait a minute.
Pharma company?
We are 50 minutes into this episode, and this is the first instance of the pharma company, and this is the entire reasoning for the plot.
Yeah. So she lives off grid.
Yeah.
But, she's nice to Zane. She seems to be
But she's got power. She has a DVD player.
she must have a generator or something. I know she's got a couple solar panels off in the background. You can kind of see them leaning against
She
stuff.
has the 2 worst DVDs of all time.
Well, yeah, they are the DVDs of the movies that are on Guy's wall.
No, there's another one.
Oh,
There's also, so she has the Sum of All Our Fears, right?
that's the Big Ben movie, right?
Yes. And then she also has,
And by Big Ben, I mean not the bell, the tower, the clock tower is on the poster, and that's on Guy's wall. We see it in a couple of places.
so she has Some of Their Fears, and she also has Marooned But Not Forgotten.
Is that how she feels?
I guess?
Or marooned and forgotten, living in the backyard.
But that's the other movie she has. Yeah, so that's his ex-wife. And then we have one more family, which is not Stu's family. Guy's family.
Guy, Paige, Zane, and Becky.
Yes. And they have a house festooned with movie posters.
They have a really pretty house. It's a nice mix of classic and modern.
They do. I did wonder who took the pillows from outside on the cushions.
But I don't want to live there if Zane lives there too.
No, Zane is. Ooh.
Played by Kevin Coates,
Yes.
who is the perfect actor for this role. If they can't go back in time and get a young Crispin Glover to play this role, this guy, Kevin Coates, is the best choice.
We need somebody who's paler than pale.
No, really pale. Super pale, okay.
More pale than that.
Yeah.
Hasn't eaten in, 8 months.
Oh, is he sweaty?
Yes.
He should be sweaty.
Sweaty.
Yeah.
Nervous, anxious.
Paranoid
Yep.
looking.
Paranoid, all that stuff.
Twitchy.
Oh, so twitchy.
Yes. No, he can't have any color in his cheeks.
No.
No facial hair. No ruggedness at all.
No, the casting person must have just been like, I have the guy for you.
Meet Zane.
And I'm sure he's
You're
very
not my
nice.
sister anymore, so I can love you. Okay? That's all you need to know. I've made a video about it. That should convince you to love me back.
Okay.
I lit some candles in the party pit. We can be a couple now.
Far ahead of
It doesn't
ourselves.
matter.
Okay.
His life is dedicated to, you're going to be my girlfriend's sister now.
We find out that
Midsomer has
Zane-
learned they don't do that anymore. You got to go back like 20 seasons to get away with that kind of stuff. Come on.
Zane is in the living room with the posters for the movies. Now, did you look at all the posters?
Yes.
Okay. So the three posters are: the power to survive is a giant robot on it. Why does it have a giant robot?
I don't know. It's got the power to survive, apparently.
Final Day to Survive. Okay. And that's starring Lucien Godwin and directed by Austin Olivers. Fake people.
Yes.
There is a gas mask on that poster, though. That I liked.
Yeah.
I liked
Little nod.
that there's a little nod to that the gas mask. And then some of their fears. Did you read what the tagline was? It is, when all is lost, only the lost remain.
Yeah.
Now we get to the point.
It's like one of the things I did to prepare for this episode was I thought maybe I would give you a quiz on real or fake post-apocalyptic movie titles.
Oh, I'm winning that hands down.
And I gave up when I found an actual movie called Only the Dead Survive. I'm like, oh, okay. Do you know what survive means? Dead people don't. Oh.
So there's a point here where Zane and
Becky are playing video games.
And they pause the video game, which that video game is created, right? It's not a real video
Well, they're
game.
not really playing anything. They're pushing buttons on controllers while something plays on the TV.
There's something playing. But it gives Becky's statistics, which includes kills. And I have in my notes, how can Becky have 3 kills when she's only killed 1 person in this episode so far? But then I realized in the end of the episode, she does kill 3 people.
Yeah.
So the kill total.
It's foreshadowing.
The kill total is foreshadowing for how many people she eventually kills.
Yes.
Because Becky is the killer.
Zane should have paused it and went, you're not my sister, but you are a killer.
Did you notice that Zane also has those posters in his room?
Yeah, because once you've created a graphic like that, you use it.
Well,
Lyra has it on a DVD. They have it on the poster. He has it in his room.
If you watch that video game episode, part of the episode, and you realize that she's the killer, she says some very strange things there. She is not killerific there.
She's rewatching it, knowing that she's the killer, knowing that Becky is the killer. There's all kinds of little, like the 3 kills thing, but she gives herself away a couple of times. Which to me is good writing.
Yeah.
Because to me it means that, if I wasn't paying more attention to how dirty somebody's towel is, I might have figured out she was the killer. Another thing that we asked people to look for was Medora's mechanical abilities.
Yes. Watch like a maniac.
Because they make this big deal out of her taking apart a meat slicer and putting it back together again at the reception/bar of the restaurant/pub.
That's not where you do that.
Why is she doing it there?
It's not why you do it there. Now, have you spent any amount of time with an actual industrial meat slicer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that kind of, not an industrial one, but
like a restaurant one.
That type of one, yeah.
Have you ever cleaned one?
No.
It is one of the most hair-raising experiences I ever did in my life.
The first step is unplug it, right?
I worked in a restaurant when I was going to college where I had to routinely do this. And I was the assistant manager of said restaurant, the night manager. So I wouldn't let any of my employees clean it. I didn't think that
they deserve to lose a finger.
I didn't think they deserved to lose a finger, but I still have flashbacks to cleaning that apparatus.
Did you disassemble it on the front counter of the restaurant?
No, I did not do that.
So that you could display all of its parts to your customers and show them?
I have a screwdriver, which means I am capable of doing...
Look at me, mechanical
thing.
I'm handy. I have hands. I'm screwing a screw.
Yeah, it just seems weird.
So Guy gets lured out to the woods by a boat.
Yes.
Why does anybody even have a self-inflating dinghy in the middle of the woods?
Well, if you have a wine rack, you need a self-inflating dinghy.
I mean, there is a pond.
Yep.
Which you can die in, apparently. But you don't need a dinghy to survive it.
No.
These survivalists are buying things they don't need, like self-inflating dinghies. So I wondered if you could actually be injured by a dinghy.
Okay.
Right? So, of course, I went looking.
We have to insert a sample of Edward Woodward from Wicker Man asking for the dinghy here.
Will you send a dinghy, please? Did you hear me? I'd like a dinghy, please.
Can you send out a dinghy?
So this is an inflatable life raft.
Yes.
Right? They call them IRBs.
IRBs.
Yes. And they do have a canister of compressed air.
Yes.
Right? So that at a touch, it inflates.
Which
because it's an emergency thing.
Which would be like...
But that compressed air is a combination of gases that by itself, the canister can hurt you.
Yes.
Never mind. Apparently, it gets incredibly hot.
Oh.
Like that.
Well, I would imagine that change of pressure.
Well, it's a chemical reaction, right? But there are quite a few stories. In an article I read that it was in like the Australian Journal of Medicine.
Of course, it was an Australian Journal of Medicine.
About lifeguards getting knee and ankle injuries from inflating lifeboats.
So the lifeboat comes out and basically
knocks them off their feet.
Knocks them off their feet.
Yeah, because they're not far enough away from it, or it opens in a direction they weren't expecting and basically takes their legs out.
Well, maybe Jeff Provery, who wrote this episode, found that article.
But it hits Guy so hard that it knocks him 5 feet up into the air and about 10 feet back. And I think we're supposed to assume that when he hits the tree, he's basically paralyzed.
Or severely concussed.
Yeah, so concussed that he doesn't even think to fight back.
If I'm buying that the tripwire worked to explode the boat at the right time in the exact right direction to make him fly through the air and hit the tree exactly right, I have to buy that he's either paralyzed or concussed.
Yes, but we got to give Becky credit here because not only does she rig that whole thing up, but she positions the compacted boat in the right direction. Because if it was just rotated 90 degrees, it would have just inflated in front of him.
Some of these contraptions that we've seen,
like the rifle, the shotgun with the wire and all that stuff.
Some of these are going to take dry runs to make sure you have everything right.
Yeah.
Any engineer is going to tell you it's not going to work right the first time.
No.
You got to iterate that.
That's what I couldn't learn. Maybe somebody can tell us is how they de-inflate these things enough and repressurize them so they can use them again.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how that works.
I'm sure it's possible. They can't be single use. They're too nice for that.
I would absolutely have to think that the company who makes those,
maybe you send them back and they do it again.
And they return it.
Yeah.
Like
somebody who's a professional parachute packer.
Yeah.
You know?
And I would assume that if you make a bunch of those rapidly inflatable boats, that you have a machine where you put the boat in, you put the thing in, you put all that in, and it folds it and puts it in, correct?
Yeah. They're not rapidly inflating boats.
Rapidly.
Yeah. Because they were rapidly.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
Maybe that's what Stu's looking for in the bushes.
No, he's looking for the bear trap that he left for his girlfriend in her hazmat suit later. That's okay. It doesn't really hurt her.
I noticed that.
Those suits are tough, apparently. I don't know about this whole Randall being drunk and having weird flashbacks and waking up on a log, and Randall he's just a mess.
Yeah.
That's why I think he and Medora don't own the place, because I don't think he could run it. And she can't do it alone.
He seems okay, but then suddenly falls off the cliff.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know what brings all that back, really, for him. But so Becky knows Randall was involved?
Yeah.
With the reason why she's killing people.
She tells
with
him.
Her mom.
She tells him in her drunken stupor.
When Becky's drunk?
No, sorry. When Randall's drunk. His drunken stupor.
I'm saying, does Becky know Randall was involved with her mother's death?
Not at that point until he gets drunk.
So that's not the reason he starts drinking.
No.
It's not like he got a threatening text like Guy gets.
No.
And then he goes, oh no, it's coming back to me. I'm traumatized again.
No.
I guess he's just freaking out because his friends are dead.
There's a missing trigger there.
Warren and Guy have been killed, so he thinks he's next. Yeah. So he's upset. So he makes himself super vulnerable by getting drunk. I don't know.
Maybe.
But Stu and Becky in the woods, like being all flirty and everything, I don't know. I don't understand why he why Stu is interested in her.
My
I understand why
note
he
is-
dumps Etta, but
Flirty killer girl and scary man go for a walk in woods and then return to Stu's multi-million-dollar home.
I mean, really, he's a poacher who uses cruel traps.
Yes.
And she's a killer. If they just opened up to each other,
Yeah.
they might have been able to work something out.
Oh, but no, she is another suitor. And this is the video. The most uncomfortable part of this entire episode.
So Zane films it in the living room because the posters are behind him in the video.
See, I think he's in his room and there's a second set of posters.
No, I think he films it on his laptop in the living room and then takes his laptop to the office at the front of the house to watch it.
Okay.
And bask in the glory of his own brilliance and grossness. Because he's like, yeah, Zane, that's a good one.
Now-
You made a good video.
We have 150 episodes of this podcast. Okay? Mm-hmm. When we started, I had no interest in hearing my own voice. Anyone who's ever recorded anything, the immediate first reaction is, I don't sound like that.
Yeah.
Because you don't sound like that to yourself because
Right.
your voice resonates in your head
Yeah.
in ways that you don't. Right? But I've gotten used to hearing me. Right? And you've gotten used to hearing you. Right? So we hear each other a lot. Why is he watching this again? But there's a bigger why. Okay? Why is he watching it at full volume with the door open?
With his mom in the house.
A pair of headphones lying beside his laptop.
With his mom in the house.
Also, he has an XLR cable on a coat rack. I'm like, it's not where your XLR
You're
cables
such a nerd.
go.
But like, what does he think is going to happen? He's going to set her down and say, Becky, watch this video. And she's going to be like, Zane, I love you too. I love how pasty and sweaty you are and how creepy you are. Yay. I'm a killer.
On top of all that, he has a mixer on his desk. Why does he have a mixer on his desk?
Because it looks techie, honey.
I guess. Why don't you just leave me alone? I'm taking my laptop and my
Creepy video.
creepy video and going away.
Not only is Stu a poaching millionaire weirdo, he's also an egotistical jerk. When they interview him, he's like, yeah, Becky's into me. Can you blame her?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Because even a killer has better taste than you. You jerk face.
Zane, in his second bad idea, decides to turn the shelter into a love nest.
So he decides the video is not a good idea.
Yeah.
Instead, he's going to seduce Becky in the party pit
Yes.
by lighting some candles and locking her in.
And this is when I noticed the ginormous amount of wine bottles in the party pit.
He has a remote control for the door.
Yeah, no one else has that. And at first, you don't see the remote control. And in my notes, he has Jedi mind powers. Zane's Jedi mind
When you're
tricks.
that pin-up crazy, you
Yeah.
can just do things with your mind.
Because it looks like he points at the door with his hand
Yeah.
and it shuts.
Ha! Then we finally get to the story that's behind the episode.
Yes. Oh, gosh.
I love Midsomer, okay?
Which we hear.
You love Midsomer.
Yeah.
We make this show because we love Midsomer.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like we're just like ragging on Midsomer going, this is wrong and this is wrong and this is wrong. But I have to say, this storyline doesn't make sense.
Okay. This is what I have to say. When I came back to this episode after the mini, what has it been? Like 8 hours since we recorded the mini? This was the one I was like, oh, I don't know if we're going to find enough to talk about in this episode. I have a newfound love of this episode because of all these amazing things. And then second of all, this backstory is brilliant if it's an entire episode. Like,
No, it doesn't make any sense.
there
is a critical logic flaw that makes it not make sense.
We fix that critical logical flaw, and then it's a whole episode.
No, then it still doesn't work. Let me tell you why. Okay, so the backstory is
Yes.
that a bunch of these people used to work for this pharma company.
Wait a minute. It's almost 3 hours into the
I
podcast,
know.
and we're just bringing up the pharma company.
And the pharma company was experimenting with viruses, okay, with diseases.
yes.
A woman who worked there was told that she had been exposed
Yes.
to the disease that was contagious and deadly.
Yes.
Okay. So she leaves the company in her car.
Yes.
Driving crazy and erratically.
Yes.
Runs into some trash cans.
Yes.
Because now she thinks she's starting to feel bad.
Yep.
And is convinced either by Guy and Warren.
Where? Okay. She goes to Warren's house first.
Yeah.
Because he's a GP.
Right.
That makes sense.
Right. And he has a relationship with the pharma company and she thinks she's sick. Right.
The fact that he doesn't help her.
I know.
Is horrific.
I know. But instead, she's told that she basically is infected with something that could kill everybody. So she does what she thinks is the right thing, which is to walk into a pond and drown herself.
Yes.
Okay. Thereby saving everybody else from exposure.
Including?
But she drives there in a car.
Yep.
With her baby.
Was the baby in the car at work?
I don't know. Maybe she brings the baby to work. Like she just totes the baby around all day in a backpack while she's doing her dangerous job.
I went through
being exposed to stuff.
I went through all of these scenarios.
Even if the baby wasn't at work. Let's say the baby was at daycare and she picked the baby up. Okay, so she went to the daycare.
Exposed all those people at the daycare. It's all in my notes.
I know. Never mind. Even if none of that is true. Let's say the baby is miraculously independent and hangs out in the car all day alone and is fine. Okay? It's okay, Mom. You go to work. I'll chill out here all day.
Sarah's gonna kill me.
I can hang. It's fine. I got a bottle. I got a blanket. I'm cool. And it's not illegal to leave me here by myself all day.
Oh my
it's
God.
fine.
Listeners.
Even
I'm
if that
almost
is
dead.
the case, okay? She gets in the car, thereby exposing the baby.
The baby is exposed.
Now,
Yep.
she is willing to sacrifice herself to save the world, but leaves the plague baby behind.
Leaves plague baby
in the car. Okay? So plague baby is going to kill everybody instead.
I have in my notes, wouldn't the baby be sick too?
You left plague baby behind. Now, I'm not saying I advocate for this woman carrying her baby into the water too. I don't want any of that to happen. But it's pointless for her to sacrifice herself when she leaves the plague baby bomb behind in the car. To be discovered by somebody who has no idea and might even find the baby and go, oh, that's just the baby that hangs out in cars.
20 years later becomes the killer.
We don't need to rescue that baby. That's the baby who hangs out in cars. She's fine. I don't understand. Never mind that then we find out she actually wasn't exposed to anything serious. It was just like a common cold and she didn't need to do any of that. And so they fish her out of the pond that looks like it's 3 feet deep, but she miraculously instantly drowns herself in and they bury her in the woods. What? Meanwhile, baby's driving around in the car.
And then plague baby, which they don't know it's not plague baby at this point in time.
Right.
They don't know.
Right.
What do you do with plague baby?
Take her in.
Is Paige that gullible or is Guy that persuasive?
I don't know.
If I showed up,
I think we're supposed to believe Paige was desperate for a baby.
I understand that
and
part.
that he knew that it was only a cold by the time he brought the plague baby home. It's just some rhinovirus. She's got a runny nose. But you should know she can drive.
So now...
I know she's 6 months, but she can drive.
So now I got all there.
Okay.
And I got to this problem.
Okay.
Is Zane older than Becky?
No, he's younger.
So, okay. So you brought me home a baby.
Yeah.
And 18 months or less, let's adopt another baby.
Yeah. Well, see, I think we're supposed to assume that Paige was desperate for a baby and couldn't have a baby. So that
she had the plague baby then.
So she didn't ask a lot of questions when he brought plague baby home.
Which I understand.
And then they wanted another baby. So it's okay to adopt 2 babies. Sometimes you can't just have one. They're like potato chips.
Oh, my God.
I mean, look at me. I had 3 at once. And...
Yes, you had 3 at once, but if I showed up tomorrow at the door with 3 plague babies, you would be like, are you sure about this?
I think we got enough. But
I'm not sure I can run the bookstore that nobody comes into.
I have to stock it, unstock it, stock it, unstock it, stock it, unstock it. Over and over and over again. Yep. It keeps me busy. I can't take care of all these plague babies that you keep bringing me.
Putting up signs.
I'm putting up these signs that cover up the merchandise.
Oh my gosh.
Because we're having an amazing sale.
The plot.
why I have a problem, is that if she is selfless enough to take her own life to theoretically save everybody else, why would she leave the plague baby behind? She wouldn't. She would take the baby with her. Right? Never mind that I would think that she would be like, you guys got me sick, you guys fix this, and you fix her too.
I don't know why they bury her. Burying her is the 100% wrong thing ever.
I guess nobody else loves her. Like, she has no family.
Okay. I was going to get to this when we get into the
even if she had the baby with a man who doesn't know she was pregnant, so he doesn't know he has a child. She has parents.
She has parents, and wandering around is a father who doesn't know he's a father at the best.
Yes.
And at the worst, finds out that his child, who he's been looking for 20 years,
is now a plague baby.
Went nuts and killed a bunch of people.
A plague baby grown into a serial killer. Spree killer in an orange suit. I mean...
Hi, Dad. Nice to meet you.
Let's talk about the bookstore, because there is something amazing in the bookstore. That may be, over all of these things, the gem of this episode. Okay.
So, now, there's a typewriter in the bookstore.
I'm not talking about a typewriter.
We didn't even talk about the typewriter in the bookstore.
I'm not talking about that.
What do you...
So much better.
Okay. Lay it on me.
How closely did you look at the books in the bookstore?
Just briefly. I just noticed that they looked to be real books.
Yes. Real books, right? And a mix of books.
Yes.
Because it's a used bookstore, I think, predominantly.
Yeah.
Now, I have to say, Paige probably doesn't sell a lot of books because she doesn't sort her books by genre at all.
Or cover or type or anything.
But she does sell some new books.
She does?
Yes.
Okay.
Because when she's restocking, putting the books back, there's a long scene of her putting several copies of the same book on the same shelf.
Yes.
I would like you to open the folder where I have put the screenshot images, and we will share these in the show notes, onto an image that I think I called Silas or Raven.
Yes, Silas Raven.
Open that one.
Okay.
And notice that there is an entire chunk of books there, all written by
Silas Raven.
Do you know who Silas Raven is?
Who is Silas Raven?
He is the crime and horror novelist from The Dagger Club.
Oh!
Which is season 17, episode 1.
Wow. That is a callback.
Isn't that awesome?
That is a huge callback.
It's kick-ass book covers that have a reference to 6 seasons ago.
Wow.
To an author in an episode.
That is so fantastic.
Isn't that cool?
That is so
I was
good.
like, I wonder if those are real books. I'm like looking up. And that's of the other ones there's one that she holds up you can almost read the cover.
Yeah.
But you can't quite read it enough. I looked it up. I couldn't find anything.
Wow.
But those, Silas Raven is that character. That is so clever. That's an Easter egg if there is one.
That is a fantastic Easter egg. I think that coat rack's the same coat rack that's in Zane's room.
It's a traveling coat rack.
It may be. I'd have to double check. Never mind, I was obsessed with something that we barely touched upon in this episode. The 2 people in the town walking dogs. Every single scene outside in the village, I was watching for those people.
Maybe they won a contest or something.
Maybe.
They got to be extras in it.
Something.
Yeah, so that was my boom discovery in this episode.
That's amazing, and we'll put that in the show notes. It clearly says Silas Raven.
Yeah.
So which character is he in the Dagger Club?
Oh, you'd know him as soon as you see him. He looks like Dracula. He's got this swept back black hair with silver streaks in it and an earring that hangs down. He's very classy.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Really good. It's really good.
Yep.
Then Lyra gets attacked by hazmat suit killer.
Yes. And we still don't know who it is, though. We know it's probably either Etta or Becky.
Yeah, I think I knew it was Becky by this point.
Because they do the most worst job of trying to frame Zane ever.
Yeah, no, Zane's just creepy. And sweaty.
I think they would probably be like, do you think Zane could do that? No, I don't think
So Lyra is played by Kate Robbins.
Yes.
Who I could have done a horrible movie with a movie that she was in, but I secretly think that it might actually be good. Mm-hmm. It's called The Sex Lives of the Potato Men.
What?
It gets better. It stars Mackenzie Cook
Oh, my.
from The Detectorists.
Yeah.
Johnny Vegas.
We
and
have-
Mark Gaddis.
Why have we not watched this movie?
But it's about two skeezy potato delivery guys.
Wow.
But she's in that movie.
We need to watch that movie.
It looks like it could be not, life edifying, but
Yeah.
maybe a good laugh. And we'll just scream Midsomer the whole time because
Yeah.
everybody in it is going to be in a Midsomer.
Speaking of, we're watching The Rig now on Amazon Prime if you're in the U.S.
Yeah.
Which is basically Midsomer versus Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Definitely. It's good so far.
It's good so far.
It's
but
kind of sci-fi creepy.
yeah, there are a lot of crossovers there.
So Warren wouldn't let Paige be in the bunker because she couldn't have babies. And he knew that because he was a doctor.
Yes.
So what does he do with the information? Because he was a jerk, apparently.
Yeah.
He shows up spontaneously at their house and says, "Hey, Zane, you're adopted. Bye."
Yeah.
Who does that?
I don't have a problem with that inciting her to go crazy and start killing people. I have a problem with Warren going and doing it in the first place.
Yeah. Like, that's just a jerk move.
When easily you could have, like, if you're going to throw, we listen to the will in the car and the ride over, if you're going to throw that in, you could easily throw in, well, she has some sort of disease and it's hereditary, but the kids don't have it. Oh my gosh, they're not actually her kids. Like, that's been done in 5 million shows.
Which is why they didn't do it, right? What we're supposed to...
On the car ride over, we talked to her GP and he said...
He told us everything. So what we're supposed to believe is that Warren did this because Guy wanted in the party pit.
Yep.
But he didn't want anybody who couldn't breed in the party pit. Warren didn't. So he wouldn't let Paige in because he knew she couldn't have kids.
Yes.
And I guess Guy was insisting. So Warren came over and went, "You're adopted," to stick it to Paige.
I guess.
But it really only hurts Zane. And then Becky hears that and goes, "Wait a minute, maybe I'm adopted."
Yeah.
And then discovers that she's Plague Baby
I guess.
and goes crazy.
But how does she find out about Plague Baby? Like, it's been kept out of the news. How does she kills Warren before she talks to Randall? Mm-hmm. So how does she know about Plague Baby?
I don't know.
Like, it's problematic.
Or maybe there's something we're not remembering in there, a little piece of information. Maybe Warren told her she was adopted too on the side,
Maybe.
but not when he came over and went neener to Zane. Like, of all the kind of unstable
Let
people.
me play a video game and make a video about this with my mixer.
I'm adopted.
I'm streaming adoption.
You're a bad doctor. I hate it when bad guys run away. They confront her.
Well, and
They have
especially
the information.
This episode, especially.
She's wearing an orange jumpsuit in the woods. Where is she going to go?
And Winters says, stop. And what does he do again? Says, stop again. Stop, or I'll say stop again.
I think I would just say, no matter how far you run, I can still see you.
Yeah.
You may as well just stop.
No. I have to
I'm
run
gonna
into Chekhov's bear trap.
I'm going to run away forever and you're never going to catch me. What? In my big puffy hazmat suit.
I guess.
You know what we didn't do?
What?
We didn't talk about the canned ham murder. We completely skipped Randall.
Poor Randall.
We're horrible at this. Mostly because I think Randall's death is so inconsequential.
It's just brutal.
It is the brutalest.
Beats him to death. Like, there would be blood
She
everywhere.
caves his head in with a canned ham.
I don't know if you could do that.
Oh, you could. I think your arms would get tired.
What other canned products could you kill somebody with? You couldn't do it with sardines.
Anything in a restaurant quantity
Yeah,
can.
like those big
Because
cans.
that's like 5 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's got sharp edges.
Yeah.
So,
But like not sardines.
especially if he's like, I'll hold still. Go
Not
ahead
just
and,
like a can of soup. Like
No.
you'd be banging on his head forever.
No, like a tuna can or something.
No.
No, you need restaurant quantity
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a can. You couldn't do it with like,
And if it was tomato
Frozen
soup
chicken nuggets or
tomato
something.
juice, what would you know was blood and what wasn't blood?
why didn't you just beat him with the deer carcass? I mean, he's willing to sit there and wait.
Or put a trap on his face.
Meat slicer, it's right there.
Use the meat slicer.
She could have said, hold on, I'll be back. And gone to the kitchen and got a big knife because he was willing to just sit there.
He would be like, it's okay, I'll wait.
Yeah, that's what he did. Hit me again. That one didn't kill me. I'll be still so you can get a good aim. Like, wow.
There is so much setup in the first hour of this episode that leads to the last half hour of bonkersness.
Yes. But she didn't even have a bad disease anyway, and she didn't take the baby, and you're the baby, and you're crazy. So maybe there was maybe she was exposed to something, and you were exposed to something, and it's been rotting your brain for 20 years, and now you're crazy hazmat plague baby lady.
Where does Randall get his hazmat suit? Where does he get it? I understand Guy having one in his car. Mm-hmm. He works at a virology place.
Yes.
Okay. Did he have a
wasn't Randall involved in that too?
No, there is no mention of Randall being.
But Randall's the one chasing her initially, and then Guy drives up in his car. Randall worked there too.
Why is he at the pub?
No. She runs into the pub, and then he chases her, right?
Yes. Why does he have a hazmat suit?
Oh, maybe Guy had two.
But okay.
And none in a baby size.
And they're like,
they didn't have any in baby sizes.
They're like, okay, she smashes the car. She looks at them. She runs off. Guy goes to Randall, explains everything.
Mm-hmm. Don't chase her too close. She might be
They
infected.
get in the hazmat suits.
Yes.
Right by her car.
Yeah.
And don't notice Plague Baby.
No, they get in them next to Guy's car, which is on the road next to the woods with the pond.
Then how did...
Because, wait, watch like a maniac moment.
Watch like a maniac.
Remember the tree carving? Right?
This makes no sense.
Wait. Remember I said look for mystical symbols?
Yes.
Mysterious symbols in the bunker. Yep. And the other set is in the woods. The tree that is carved, right?
Yes.
That's where Guy gets out of his car because he sees Randall chasing a lady,
but
he knows that she's run away, but she's infected. So he's trying to find her.
In the flashback, they're both on the street behind the pub in red suits.
That's when they come back
and don't notice the baby.
No, that's when they do notice the baby, and that's why Guy gives the baby to Paige and says, "Look, plague baby,
and
all
Randall's
for you."
just like, oh well,
I'm gonna go to work and drink now. Bye.
Never mind, digging a hole to put a body in takes forever, and it would be plague body. And why would you put plague body in the ground? And,
I think by then they knew she just had a cold.
How?
Because Lyra, the security guard, came and told them.
No, she's still hiding in the house with her flip phone. Oh, maniacs.
Hey, guess what? Sarah's mom's not coming.
Maniacs.
The end. No, we have to talk about the most egregious thing. Of all the plot twists and the plot holes and the logic problems and the plague babies and driving cars and everything else, the party pit, you know what makes me ticked off the most?
He's cleaning the sink in his tie.
No, he doesn't pay Winter back for the beer and chips.
Winter gets screwed in this
Barnaby,
episode.
Come on.
This whole season, and we need to talk about
That's bullshit.
This season is how to screw Winter.
Yeah, it's not cool.
Do they not want him, Nick Hendricks, on the show anymore?
Okay, here's what I know about being a good manager.
Yeah.
If there's only one pair of wellies, my employee is getting the wellies,
Absolutely.
not me. I'm
Absolutely.
like, take the wellies off my feet.
Yes.
You wear them.
Yes.
If anybody's buying the beer and chips, it's me.
If I ask an employee to buy beer and chips, I'm giving them money.
Yeah, in advance.
Yes.
Here's money to buy it with.
Yes.
Never mind. It's not for an office party.
No.
It's for his escape from his mother-in-law.
His mother-in-law bunker.
That it's not even a work-related expense. It's a personal expense. No. It's bullshit that Barnaby's like, well, I'm not going to give you the money. Ha, 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 ha. It's not funny. It's a jerk move. Barnaby, you're better than that.
We talked about this in the second mini because some people talked about this online, that he treats...
That is a jerk move.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of somebody who is under you in the organizational chart and makes less money than you and can't fight back.
If you're going to create...
I know they're doing it tongue-in-cheek, but I'm not amused by it.
Yeah, if you're going to create a younger generation who hates work, that is one easy way to do it.
if you're going to create a younger generation that's going to rise up against the middle-aged man and overthrow him
Yep.
and say, give me back my wellies,
Yes.
that's how you do it.
Agreed.
If you're going to raise
Power to the people.
secret plague baby serial killer bombs that are going to come back and get your ass, that's how you do it. Oh. Really, Becky is Barnaby's fault. Becky wouldn't be like that if it weren't for people like Barnaby not paying back their underlings for expenses that they incurred on their behalf.
It's just bonkers plot. They must
And that's why we love Midsomer.
They must have had writers' rooms meetings because we know, not writers' room, but writing meetings because we know from the writers that we've talked to that they sit down and go through the whole plot first.
Yeah.
And I realize some things get cut and there's editing.
And
all
sometimes
that
that creates holes that are unintentional and all that kind of stuff.
But wow, dudes, call us up. We'll help you out.
Let us have it.
Yeah.
Give us the draft. We'll show you where the problems are.
We'll help you out.
And we'll let you keep them all. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's great.
And we'll sign an NDA. I got no problem with that.
Totally.
But we will be your story consultant.
We will point out the awesome plague babies in your story. So we've got Gloomsday plague babies hanging out in the party pit.
All these people work very hard.
Oh, yeah.
And we love this show.
This is why we love it.
This is telling your child that maybe the circus life is not right for them. You love them. You want the best for them.
No, it's not even that. It's I love you because you want to go to the circus. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you going to be a trapeze artist even though you've never done it?
And
Great. I can't wait to watch.
650 pounds.
Awesome. Can I get tickets to the first show?
Yeah.
Because I'm there.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be great.
Bonkers town.
Who's the best corpse? Nice corpse. I feel like we should give it to Randall because we forgot him completely.
I think we give Randall the
best corpse.
even though what's his name?
Warren's good on the slab.
Warren's good on the slab.
Yeah.
So
It just doesn't seem fair that we're like, this episode is so Looney Tune that we forgot somebody got killed with a canned ham and had to go back. That's why we love it.
that's why we love it.
After the credits.
After the credits.
Play baby Becky is going to prison.
Yep.
Zane is going to say, whew, dodged a bullet there.
I hope he does. No, I still love her.
No, he's going to write her notes in prison. He's going to confess his love for her in prison. You know he is.
Okay.
Is Paige going to keep the bookstore?
Paige is going to keep the bookstore, but I got to think that Lyra's going to get kicked out by the new owners of the house because Claudia is in London already spending money.
Out of there.
Yeah, she is out of there. When she says, all I ever wanted was somebody to love me for who I am, I was like, you're right. You're right.
Then get out of there.
Get out of there. No one loves her. No one loves her for who she is in this episode.
Paige.
That is the best part of writing in this episode.
Yeah. She's a beautiful, wealthy woman who no one loves.
Yeah.
And she's not a bad person.
No.
Well,
go to London and find Romeo.
What I want is for there to be another episode about the big city couple who decides to move to the country and buys the beautiful house and can't get Lyra out.
Lyra's still in the house, and she's warped so badly because of this. She wears hazmat around all the time.
But there's a footnote in the contract that says they can't kick her out.
Yeah.
Like, somebody's mother who can stay there until she dies.
Do you think Medora keeps the pub?
No, she should get out of there too.
Yeah,
her husband was beat to a pulp in the kitchen.
Etta has
maybe Lyra agrees to live in the party pit. Because that's definitely an upgrade from the tent.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe the new owners don't know she's out there.
And Etta already has a new YouTube channel where she has a narrowboat that she runs all over the UK.
Yeah.
And she does
totally on solar
YouTube narrowboat episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, unless she's in a yurt.
Yes,
she's a yurt. She's a yurt girl.
So.
Yeah, she's gloomsdaying somewhere else. How to Survive the Apocalypse on a Narrow Boat with a Composting Toilet by Etta.
Well, Maniacs.
Didn't you miss Midsomer?
It's been quite the episode.
I missed Midsomer.
Next week we cover Season 23, Episode 2, The Debt of Lies, which we will have all sorts of craziness for.
Oh, there's all kinds of fun stuff there, too.
Yep.
Including lots of chicken poop.
Yes, lots of chicken poop.
Oh, thanks. Retired cops and chicken poop. Of course. All right. Until then, maniacs.
Bye, maniacs.
Bye. Watch out for black babies.